onto the Rift we shall go. And we've talked a little bit about the blue side here, Doctor, and how much I, at the very least, love the draft because we've got an Elise. We've got my favorite, well, one of my favorite champions of the owner. But let's talk a little bit about the blue side of the draft because we've got the set, we've got KND, there's a lot of interesting things here. I'm trying to work out who is support right now.
It'll be the setter. So is he out of base? No, he's chilling. We just go ahead and start, and we're not really bothered about the fact that our set's here. Okay, he's a little AFK, but he will be the support down there. And yeah, we're. Oh, that's a rogue support buy. It has to be said. There's no shot he's actually going for the sickle. Yeah. Let's go ahead and refund that one. There we are. Buddy, it does not take a full minute to figure out our items. Only back and away. There we are. We're out and about. Set does pretty nicely versus the old the all-in supports, because, you know, they throw themselves into him, boom, easy face breaker, proc your passive a couple of times, and then round things out with a W to block some of that burst that will be coming out from the Kai'Sa.
Now, I want to go back to this top lane matchup, because before we loaded into the game, you were talking a little bit about how much you like the Camille, and the fact that it was really good into set because he was a champion that likes to build a lot of health. Then the Kennen got locked in, and the set has been flexed down into the support role. So let's talk about this Camille.
Yeah, it's a classic, bit of an older one that we don't really see all too often, and there's a lot of good things going for Kennen in the lane. Bearing in mind he comes with, you know, a relatively mixed damage profile. You can see starting with that Doran's Blade. Not sure which build he'll be going for, if he's looking for an AP or an AD build here. It can always be hard to then match the, the Camille later on in the game in the side lanes, which would dissuade you from going the AD builds. But any mixed damage is great versus Camille passive. You have that range advantage to try and poke her down. However, Camille does pretty well into ranged champions. Excuse me. So I'm expecting this to be... somewhat definitely Kennen favored early on, but it is a bit of a skill matchup. As you can see, a bit of an overextension here, actually, from the Kennen running up. He's not going to get the stun. He is going to take a fair bit of damage, but I think that we don't get the Q2 off there, so he ends up winning it out.
Thundering Shuriken just missing at the end from the Kennen, but as you mentioned, the Kennen has the advantage early on into the matchup, and you just saw him, lightning or electric rush all the way up there to the Camille, and just get a somewhat favorable trade, even though it started off relatively badly for him.
Yeah, again, it's the very, very early stages, it can be hard to not get advantages as a range versus melee champion, but a bit of a sticky situation.
Yep, and the hook shot might come through, but Cheetah just holding on to the second part of the hook shot just for a second. But this is exactly why we like to see Elise, or why I like to see Elise. So much aggression, and when you've got something like Camille,
hang about. I'll be a little bit scared though. This is very deep.
Yeah, and what is the Elise going to do? Goes up, drops down, tries to flash out to safety.
Oh, Camille.
Camille here for the rescue. Flash forward with the hook shot. Picks up first blood, and Zerv is flashing forward and going to be able to pick up the kill onto Ezreal. But there's only so much alone Fire can do. Flash over the wall. CC from the Viego. And Shieda goes 2-0.
Okay, great start to the game for the top laner of Viperio. Picking up those 2 kills and the wave up top in a really good position for him as well. You can be very happy with that one if you are Shieda. And yeah, just a bit of what starts off as an overstep from Ezreal. Shieda is able to come down and clean up and capitalize on them because of that gank coming through already onto Jerome. That's hang about.
Yeah, flash forward, the autos coming through to either one.
I've seen Viego win these.
The CC in and the turnaround from Leo. That was clean.
Oh, you gotta be afraid of those Viegos and their healing early on, especially when you don't have your cooldowns up and available. OS Monkey finding that one out the hard way, as there now might be a potential clash of junglers meeting each other in the top side river. Vi going on in, and let's see who got the crab. It's not going to be stolen away. That one is still picked up by Ezreal.
But considering the early game pressure that Ezreal has been outputting so far, now even looking towards the top side once again, it's a pretty healthy CS number for the Spider.
Is it?
I don't know.
18 CS?
I
That's,
mean,
that's 4
okay.
camps.
I'm going to hold on to that thought. Never mind, not too much damage coming out. Okay, it's a camp also, right? You know, 6 CS. But I'm just looking at the fact that the Spider has gone into mill 2-0, which is pretty good. However, Exhaust is coming through. A second Exhaust now dropped it onto JD. The Ignite ticking down. Set will be able to run out to safety. As well as Samira starting to stack up the Conqueror. Stack price is very healthy. Favorable trade for the kids next door. Now Ezra is showing up. The Vi joining into the party, but JD cannot join into this. Teleport now coming through. Raquel Ezra out of safe. Won't quite be able to connect on it to Ezra. He will survive. No kills on the bottom side of the map just yet. But Leo is here. This is going to turn things around. Right back on in. Zenith Blade and the Void Seeker picks up the lone kill of the fight.
Oh, it's a little bit of a messy one there, has to be said. You know, a little slow on those cocoons means that suddenly you find yourself a little overcommitted if you're Ezra. But Leo Photio has that teleport up and will be coming on down to help out on the bottom side of the map. However, he's had to make his way back to mid, and we can see a little bit of lurking from OS Monkey, but looks like they're going to turn around, being dissuaded at the prospects of a potential kill down on the bot side of the map, and make their way back towards mid, whilst meanwhile the Dragon is started up by kids next door.
And I was actually about to bring up how JD was actually, you know, just kind of guiding the wave under tower, not going for a retail. No, isn't that a free recall there? But no, first Drake of the game is up. And kids, well, we all know how much kids love dragons, right? And they're showing exactly why, picking up the first and only Drake of the game so far.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they look to do with those dragons, if they're going to be playing towards some sort of sold win condition. We'll keep our eyes on their control of that objective as future dragons begin to spawn. But meanwhile, it's looking pretty good for them across the map. Now, you know, Ezra does need to farm it up a little bit, it has to be said. You know, he's falling behind a little bit. The thing about the ganks over on the Elise is, yes, you can go for a lot of dives and put out a lot of ganks and a lot of pressure, but you do still need to farm. And if you are going for those ganks, you need to actually, you know, be getting something from them. There is an opportunity cost. You know, the first gank, yeah, you do your 3 camps, you come up top, that's fine. You end up getting those 2 kills, that's great. But then after that, you know, you go bot lane instead of farming, and now that's actually costing you a teleport from your mid laner. You're not getting camps out of that. So, you know, these ganks don't come for free, as is found out down in the bottom lane when Insensitive is forced to flash.
And we're actually seeing the kids making their way up to the top side, but Insensitive. Good stuff to be able to escape out of safety. Now when we look at that jungle discrepancy, just 2.
Now with the Rift Herald being started up, this could set up for quite a few plays for kids next door. Again, they have this pressure, they have this priority up in the top lane, and Sheeda will be finishing up that Triforce, you know, sooner than you would expect, bearing in mind that he's already 2-0. And as he continues to build up these waves, you think that maybe there are potential for dive opportunities. You get that dive off, you get a lot of gold, a lot of plates, you drop the Herald, funnel it all into Sheeda, funnel it into the Camille, or even potentially the Viego or the Kai'Sa, and you're finding yourself with a massive gold swing.
Now Sheeda spotting out Service, not quite able to steal the Gromp, and Service fairly happy to take the trade, but in the end, just walks out because the Conqueror is stacking up for Sheeda, and there's a battle that over time will start to go the way of the Camille. But as you mentioned, that Rift Herald that picked up, so many plates could be going the way of the kids next door. With 9 minutes in, we already have a fairly substantial goal lead. A flash forward, Kaboom not going to be able to find his mark. Slicing Maelstrom slices up the members of the kids next door. But that was pretty huge, and it turns it into a 1-4-2.
Oh, well, it might be swinging around. Leo Fothio makes his way on in.
And he's got out Service when he can. And he doesn't land the CC, full HP, goes in with a Heartbreaker, one more auto, picks up the kill, won't quite reset the tower, aggro almost takes him down, but he will be able to pick up what is essentially a solo kill.
Yeah, a bit of a dangerous one to take out that passive there now that it doesn't drop tower aggro anymore, but this is a little bit forced from kids next door. See, here's the thing, Triforce now in the pocket of Sheeda, so you don't have to make that play then, right? This is it's a very deep commitment, and yes, you have a bit of items and like a 1-level lead on Sheeda, but if you just wait like 1 wave or whatever it was that Sheeda needed, you know, you can have Ezreal reset, Shader reset, they both move back onto the top side of the map together. Ezreal grabs his red buff, and then you coordinate a dive, stacking waves. Instead, we get this sort of random, like, force just flash on engage when we're not actually that much stronger than them yet, in terms of all-in power. And it means, you know, the shutdowns are going over.
To me, anyway, when the engage started, it looked good, but the slicing Maelstrom was so huge. And now the Zenith Blade is even huger as Leo Focha is 3-0 on the Viego.
Okay, we're starting to get pretty scary over there as the Ruin King is one to do. And with that dragon coming up in just 90 seconds, now we wonder what the plan is for Kids Next Door. Do they want to continue playing around it? Again, Ezreal, he has this Herald. Could be looking to use that one to break open mid or bot lane, because now he can't really afford to go back to the top side of the map, having lost the tempo from those earlier deaths, and now risking potentially giving up the dragon if he wants to focus his attention on the opposite side of the map.
Bring up something as well, because sadly, oh, that is a good flash. A Facebreaker comes in. The showstopper on the tower. JD takes tower shot, flashes out safety, then Slave coming through. And then Kid might have just sacrificed his life to keep his ADC alive in a 1v2 situation. The exhaust ticking down. Insensitive will fall. A great engage from the bounty hunters in the bottom lane.
But during all of that, Shader is using his item advantage. Never mind.
Oh, good flash! The Void Seeker comes through, and that's the shutdown for the bounty hunters. A 1-for-1 in the bottom lane.
Oh, just not able, but oh, that's going to be another kill going over. Surely to no!
The shield from the Ariana is so clutch at the end. Saved.
Oh, he's done it again!
Once again, saved. But 10 kills to 5. It's a 1k gold advantage for the kids now.
Whilst all this was going on, Shader grabs himself 2 solo bolos, a couple of single dingles, if you will,
Wait,
up in the top lane. Yeah, he solo boloed over onto Jerome, and then like 20 seconds later, he got Zoex, and now looks like Leo might be getting OS Monkey.
Solo player locks him down, nowhere he can go, and he thinks he can try to contest the Drake. He thinks he can get some vision, but a good TP from the side, and in the end, there's absolutely nowhere for the Orianna to go. The kids next door, they now have their second Drake.
They got the Drake, and they still have that Herald. Needs to be deployed. It's about to time out, and this is going to be a lot of money funneled into Leo. Let's keep our eyes on this, because I want to see if all of the money goes to Leo, or if we see, can I get far away enough? Yes, it looks like it all went to Leo. I didn't see any gold shoot off over towards Ezreal, so I think that Leo got solo gold for that. Did you see exactly how much the number was? It was a little blurry.
It was 3 plates, so I'm going to guess it was 240.
Well, so yeah, did you see the number of the gold?
I didn't see the number. I'm just
okay. I didn't see it either, so it could have gone either way. But I think that I went to Leo. In any case, it's a lot of money, you know, with or without solo plates. But we do see now that Zervis is making their way on, sneaking towards the bot lane.
And when we speak about money, you know, you're playing against the bounty hunters, and the kids next door, they've got bounties on them, you know, 2 bounties.
We do have bounties.
So I think the kids next door, actually, I'm going to hold that thought because the buy is going in. Assault and Battery on Insensitive, a great solar flare to lock down the 2 bot laners from the bounty hunters. And then Leona can just look out thinking of her towers again. Kieda with a solo bolo, but no, the shutdown comes through. You can't do this against the bounty hunters. You have to respect the bounty. Zenith comes in, Void Seeker will not follow. Killer Instinct in. Leona has 3v3. The Heartbreaker comes through, and now they want more. Zervis will be able to find Ezreal, but the gold is going right where the kids want it, and that is on to JD, who is now 3-0. Leo Fatio going in onto the Orianna, looking for the kill. No, he's pulled back with a face breaker. Void Seeker won't be able to find anyone, and JD eats 2 tower shots, but the members of Bounty Hunters are so darn low.
Yeah, not going to be low enough to fight back against JD, but JD probably not looking to dive this one anytime soon. However, that's a bounty picked up from Leo Fotio and Shader, giving a bounty over to Jerome as well. So a little bit of gold being reclaimed by bounty hunters there, but I don't really know if that's going to be enough to secure them anything in this game quite just yet. They lost a lot of plates, lost that tower on mid, and Kids Next Door now moving towards that potential Mountain Soul threat, as well as possibly looking up towards this second spawning of the Rift Herald, while Shieda just continues to put down the aggression on top.
27 CS in 15 minutes, but the most impressive thing is that he's about 50 CS up on
See?
top lane counter.
Oh,
Slicing Maelstrom will cancel the hook shot, and the buy does the cleanup duty. Jerome picks up the kill.
Okay, again, just a bit keen from Shieda there, and although we haven't been seeing the fights up in top lane, he does seem to be a little bit hesitant with his ult. It's usually up when it comes to the end of these fights, and we're seeing it sort of in action there, getting stunned up, not dropping the ultimate, not having the biggest window to do so, of course, but ends up being taken on down by Zervix and Jerome, as those now make their way onto the Rift Herald, and I don't think that Ezreal is looking to really try and contest it. Not really sure that one's going on. Instead, wants to try and find themselves a solo bolo, but Jerome's mobile.
Usually, it's
Wait, what?
nice. He's looking for the execute. Can
Why?
Ezreal close in time? He cannot. Couldn't get the smite.
Bro,
off.
you had smite!
I thought he had smite, but it seemed that he couldn't get the repel down in time. I don't know.
No, he was mid-Q animation. He was trying to get it with the Venomous Bite, and the turret shot came through. However, let's be honest with ourselves here. Jerome did not need to execute there. He had Zervix chilling in the Herald pit. I think even without prior mid lane, you can still just sort of run down towards the red buff and try to find your way out as Zervix tries to find their way in.
Shockwave comes through, the teleporter to Apollo. Hookshot's gonna land
Ooh.
right on it to Zervix. And well, the Hectic ultimatum locks him down in place. Free kill for the kids next door.
We'll be able to grab themselves that one, blowing out the flash of Zervis as well. Always good as they made their way onto the boss side of the map. There's a teleport flank coming in as well.
And Shieda coming in from behind as well. The members of Kids Next Door coming in through the back door saying, howdy, bounty hunters. Did you think we were coming in another way? Hookshot will lock down Boomstars, and all that's left is the Chimera. She pulls the Inferno trigger, but it will not find anywhere near enough damage as the ace comes through for the kids.
Yeah, and I'm here looking at the Kennen teleport flank. That's what I'm used to being the big deal, right? But Shieda, he bucks tradition. He comes on and cleans that one out for the team. And again, another dragon being secured for KND. And remember that, you know, this is a Samira, this is a Set, this is an Orianna and a Kennen. That's a front-loaded fight, if I ever saw one. They want to throw themselves in, get the engage going, put down a lot of bursts and see if you can't take out some squishies. And, you know, stacking up the Mountain Drakes and having the Mountain Soul is really going to throw a wrench in their later game plan. So Kids Next Door, not too unhappy with this potential Mountain Soul.
We're 18 minutes into the game, and we are seeing a 5k goal lead for the Kids Next Door. But I want to take a look at things in the long run, because bounty hunters have taken away, bounty hunters have taken a game away from the Kids Next Door. So this isn't a case of, you know, Kids Next Door, they smashed in one game and now they're looking to smash in another. How can the bounty hunters come back in? Because we have seen comebacks from larger goal disparities. I'll hold that thought. Hookshot coming through. Does Shieda want more? No, he's just going to walk out.
Yeah, going to need, again, a lot of bounties to claim, and they're going to put a lot more respect out than they really are. I mean, you know, what's going on here? Whom's Ask just up chilling alone in the enemy jungle, and Ezreal and Leo will be able to pick him out, and that's not exactly, you know, how you're going to be winning this game if you are the bounty hunters. You know, is it really worth it? Going up, getting vision in the East Quadrant? I mean, the Dragon's not up for 4 minutes. The wards there are not that valuable, and that's something that is unfortunately found out the hard way by Whom's Ask.
Quite literally, Whom's Ask, the ward to be placed
True!
Bottom side. Okay, Jerome getting caught out here. Hooks are not quite solid there. Not landing, but the Hextech ultimatum locks down the mouse. And Shieda, well, clearly has been having his heart still, or stomach still of a mighty, but a 9 and 3. Got a fight happening in the river. Shockwave gonna lock down at 2 members. Samira goes in, wants to get the kill onto Ezreal, uses the cleanse, the Heartbreaker comes through, but there's the killer instinct, and JD is unstoppable. Picks up the kill, the double kill onto the Orianna, and the Set will be forced to walk out with his tail between his legs.
He hasn't got a tail, he's not that kind of a starter. I mean, some of them, yes, for sure, but this one, not so much. But he's still not happy about the situation. Forced to go ahead back out of that one now. the Rift Herald was not secured by Kids Next Door. It was snuck away by Zervix, so they don't have to be too worried about losing, their entire base in one push. But as is always the case when a Camille is in the side lane, towers are full. One picked up by Shieda already, and this one actually might be able to stick around here mid as Zervix just turning up in time. Got that threat of an assault and battery that's scaring away JD. And so only the one tower lost for the bounty hunters, but at the same time 4 of them also died. So a lot of gold picked up by Kids Next Door.
And Neofertio took down the tower probably really low. So pretty much whenever the Kids Next Door won, they can just turn up next door, say howdy, take down the tower, and then all that's going to be remaining are the inhibited towers, and literally just the base for the bounty hunters. Kids next door found the window, and now they're looking for
Oh, they've already looked, it's gone. Pick that one up right quick with that powerful Kai'Sa damage. I think that's alongside Elise there. They get that out. Might want to look to put out a couple of resets. We've got some discrepancies here. You got to be a bit careful, Ezeraf. You are 1v3.
He is 1v3. But Doctor, I want to play a little game. Do you like role playing?
Ooh.
Ooh, right. Ara. Okay, so what I was going to go with this, Ezeraf, does he want this? I don't think he does. All the assault and battery. This is going to be the pickup for Jerome. Sadly, no bounty for the bounty hunters. But I was going to say, I want you, Doctor, I want you to role play as a bounty hunter, because there are 3 bounties on the side of Kids Next Door. You've got one on Camille, you've got one on Viego, you've got one on Titan. Which of those bounties do you want to prioritize?
Mate, at this point, I'm down bad. I'm down astronomical. I'm prioritizing the bounty of the cannon minion, the caster minion even. This is not... If you are TBH, you cannot choose which bounties you pick up here. But Kids Next Door can.
Insensitive's just going in 1v2. The hookshot, the killer instinct can follow up in the fight so darn easily. And I'm sorry, Zervix, but you do not want to be going in. The suplex comes through, but it's just a suplex to be doom as the slicing maelstrom does little. And even though it's a 3v2 scenario, JD cleans the fight. Leofachu over the wall, and there is the Void Seeker to clean up the fight, to pick up the ace. 5 for just 1. You want to know what Camille was doing? Pushing top. You want to know what Elise was doing? Going down to break. That was a 3v5, Doctor.
I mean, yeah, they're pretty big. Look at the gold. They got some moolah. They got some items over on the sides of Kids Next Door, so they can get away with plays like this. And it's from their perspective relatively low risk but very high reward, as all 3 inhibitors are exposed and the soul is picked up while Shieda grabs out the top inhib as well. So actually managed to pick one up, opening up the other 2 for later.
Mountain Soul is secure. The base broken open. Inhibitors are down, or I should say inhibitor down, and the inhibitors have taken a bit of a beating as these stars. Quite going to be able to connect the face breaker as, oh, here we go again. Headstick ultimatum, locks the cannon down, and then we'll go golden, and Shieda will just look to go right back in. Hookshot already back up, and you can see the power of the Triforce machine coming into play.
Yeah, as is often the case with Camille. Once you get to, 1 item, 2 items, 3 items, really doesn't matter. Champion's busted. But you can really start to one-bang some people, especially around about that level 13 markers. Looks like actually Kids Next Door might just be looking for the end here.
They are looking for the end. Shieda goes in. He takes so much damage. So they're not quite going to connect on to anyone, as the members of the Bounty Hunters are forced under their own nexus. JD just cleaning them up, dishing out so much damage. The final Nexus Tower under siege. Zenithor played in. Well, the 4th kill of the 5 members are respawning of the Bounty Hunters, and the kids are just looking to add their stats, add their KDAs, and the Bounty Hunters, well, sadly for them, it was very few bounties picked up in the 3rd game. The Kids Next Door advance to the next stage of the tournament.
Yeah, playing with their food at the end there a little bit.